Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Give It All, a Japanese movie from 1998 that stars Rena Tanaka. It actually made quite an impact when it first came out. Now the following plot synopsis was paraphrased from the Pony Canyon website. So this film is set in 1976 in Matsuyama, which is a historical quiet town on Shikoku Island, which faces the serene inland sea. The new generation is given the nickname Age of Three Nothings, signifying giving nothing, caring for nothing, and being moved by nothing. But 15-year-old Etsuko, played by Rena Tanaka, lives with her family, which includes her brilliant older sister, who is leaving to attend a top college. And Etsuko, because of this, feels pretty useless, with no role to play within the household. One day, she goes for a walk and catches sight of something. It's a rowing team gliding through the water. And at that moment, something sparks inside of her. She can't get this image out of her mind and sets her heart on joining the rowing team at the new school. So early on, you could feel the family influence on our lead character. She's truly living in the shadow of her older sister. And our protagonist feels like her parents really don't care that much about her because they know that she's not on her sister's level in terms of academic success. And even when she does accomplish something, academically even, they react somewhat surprised, almost as if they don't expect much from her, despite always comparing her to her sister. Quite a frustrating way to grow up, especially when you're in that kind of coming-of-age era. This is also reflected in extracurricular activities. The older sister recommends that she take up badminton as a sport, just like she did. Again, we have that looming shadow. Despite that, Reina's character is more interested in rowing. Now, this is specifically the kind where a handful of people use oars to propel a small boat, basically a canoe. And she asks about the row team, but unfortunately, that school only has a boys' team, so she has to find a way to recruit some of the girls in the school and make her own team. But thankfully, the boys at the school are willing to help out. Now, apparently there was significant effort placed on casting for this movie. They had specific qualifications, but almost like real-life characteristics for these actresses were required, such as a lack of athleticism and more of a sheltered upbringing. And the actresses also had to learn rowing while they were filming. And all of this was intentional by the filmmakers in order to capture their development realistically. And early on, this is like a hapless crew who could barely handle even existing on a rowboat at sea. It definitely worked, though, this strategy, because we do see their improvement as the film rolls along. In some ways, Give It All has similar elements that you would see in other Japanese films from this era, such as a focus on the protagonist taking up a specific hobby, a la like a Shinobu Yaguchi movie, and having to research and train in order to overcome obstacles. Now, some of these aspects are seen in movies internationally from all countries, but Japan had a talent at expressing these things in more innocent ways with an infusion of comedy. And there is a nice dose of everyday humor here, but it's less overtly comedic when compared to, some of Yaguchi's movies like Swing Girls. And this is from a different director. This is a pleasant movie, and there is some fun interaction between the characters. Now, in 1999, Rena Tanaka won the Japanese Academy Award for Best Newcomer for her performance here, and this was her first acting gig in a theatrical film, I believe, so it was a kickstart to her career. And I've always liked her as an actress, and I have reviewed Tokyo Marigold, Waiting in the Dark, and Season of Snow on this channel, if you want some reviews on some of her other stuff. I do need to catch up on some of her more recent films when I get a chance, but Give It All is a good introduction to her. And as an added bonus, there's definitely like the vibe of a seaside town in this movie. I looked up Matsuyama on Google Maps, and it looks like it's right off the Seto Inland Sea in Japan, so there are some very nice shots of that sea if you're into that kind of thing. Now, in terms of criticisms, this is probably maybe a bit too long at almost 2 full hours, and so there is some slight repetition with the rowing scenes, mostly during the second half, but Give It All is a solid movie, and it's enjoyable for the whole family. I do recommend it, and it's currently available streaming on Daily Motion. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.